My twin slept with my girlfriend, got me kicked out at 17. Now my family wants me back because I'm in granddad's will. After 8 years of being abandoned, my family has welcomed me, my wife, 27 females, and my daughter, one female, to celebrate Christmas. After receiving contradictory advice from my pals, one of them advised me to publish my predicament here and see what random internet strangers would say. My mother, 52 female, and father, 54 male, have 4 children, and I, 25 male, am the youngest. My siblings are false names: Michael, 31, male; Sarah, 28, female; and my twin brother, Casey, 25 male. Growing up, I was the family's black sheep, and I was aware of this from an early age. My family is full of athletes. My father was a fantastic basketball player at a D2 school. My mother played volleyball, Michael played soccer, Sarah played softball, and Casey was a star running back on the football team. I was never particularly interested in any of those physical sports, preferring archery, which my family referred to as a wimpy sport. My parents were always more concerned with my siblings and rarely attended my events to the point where I had to beg them to attend my tournaments. Between the ages of 14 and 16, I participated in around 20 tournaments, while my parents only attended one. They never neglected me, but they were never emotionally available to me in the same way that my siblings were. As a teenager, I despised that. When I tried to bring this up with them, they constantly called me an attention seeker. However, this was not the reason I was rejected by my family. When I was 15, I started dating Amy, now 25, a female who was in the same grade as me. After about 6 to 7 months of dating, I introduced her to my parents and siblings, who absolutely liked her. I was young, but I could see a future with her. Almost 2 years later, one of Amy's ex-friend informed me that she had been cheating on me for several months. I had no idea who the guy was at the time, but when I confronted her, she revealed that he was my twin brother. She basically told me that she loved me at first, but her love for my brother outweighed that. Later that day, when I confronted Casey at home, I became upset and sucker punched him, knocking him out. I realized that I shouldn't have gotten aggressive, but years of hatred toward him and the rest of the family just erupted. In exchange for my family not filing charges against me, since I could have been prosecuted as an adult in court, I was transferred to live with my paternal aunt, 48 female, who was estranged from the family and resided in another city about 2 hours away. Since then, I've had no interaction with them. It was difficult at first, but with the help of my aunt and her husband, 48 male, I eventually went past my desire for a relationship with them. I transferred to a different high school, attended a university in my aunt's hometown, and graduated as an electrical engineer. I later met my wife and married her. I considered inviting them to my wedding, but decided against it because I didn't want any controversy from there. My wife and I bought a house an hour away from my aunt and had a daughter a year ago. My mother and father sent me a Facebook message about a week ago saying they wanted to reunite over Christmas at their place. I told them that I would think about it, that I could have other plans, but that I would get back to them as soon as possible. Later, both Michael and Sarah sent me friend invitations, which seems strange to me. My wife has told me that if I opt to travel, she and my daughter would spend Christmas at my father-in-law's place, so she does not have to deal with unnecessary stress, especially since she is 2 months pregnant, and I agree with her. My question to people reading this is, should I try to reconcile with my family or not? I can't decide what to do. On the one hand, they may feel horrible about what they did to me and wish to apologize. However, if I go there, they may try to make me apologize to Casey, which I do not want to do. Any input would be beneficial. Update 1. Hello there, guys. It has been a difficult 2 weeks, but I appreciate everyone's counsel and support. This is going to be a very long post. I intended to post earlier, but several things got in the way. My wife began experiencing excruciating abdominal discomfort 2 days after Christmas, and she was unable to stand on her own 2 feet. My sister-in-law, 30 female, and I rushed her to the hospital, where we discovered that my wife had had a miscarriage and that the fetus needed to be removed immediately. The worst part for me was telling my wife what had transpired. Due to problems with the operation, my wife was obliged to stay for 2 extra days. I've been trying to be strong for my wife and daughter, but I'm suffering right now. Onto the update, most of you who replied on the same day I posted advised me not to spend Christmas with them due to the significance of the day. I agreed and planned to spend the remainder of the holidays with my wife. They never had time for me, so why should I make time for them? When I texted them this, I expected them to quarrel with me, but they instead replied they respected my views and couldn't wait to see me. After the holidays, I started investigating my family to discover why they had contacted me. Michael is a corporate lawyer with a major company in my hometown. Looking at his Facebook page, he has two daughters and married his wife in 2016. Sarah appears to have married a doctor. She was studying to be a nurse 8 years ago, and they now have a son together. I have a friend who lives in my hometown and has parents who are friendly with mine. When I asked her about Sarah, she informed me that she divorced her first husband, whom she had been dating for 8 years after he committed mail fraud. Casey married Amy right after high school, and they had two children. I couldn't figure out what he or his wife do for a living on Facebook, but the fact that they bought a large house last year in the midst of a pandemic suggests they aren't truly hurting. My father appears to be experiencing a midlife crisis, and my mother is very active in the wellness community. I then proceeded to enumerate the possible reasons why they wanted to contact me right now. 1. Money unlikely considering. 8 years ago, my parents' combined earnings were greater than mine and my wife's. Given that my siblings are not hurting financially, I believe money is not the issue. 2. Organ donation. This could be the case, but it seems improbable. A Redditor suggested that Casey, being my twin, would be my most likely mate. I believe it is doubtful, however, given he was tagged in a Facebook post skiing just a week before Christmas. 3. Regarding my daughter. They could be contacting me to establish a bond with my daughter, but I'm not certain. My daughter is not my parents' first granddaughter, so I'm not sure why they want to meet her. They most likely found out about my daughter because my wife's Facebook account was public. She has since privatized her account. I immediately contacted my aunt, the arranged one, who took me in and informed her of the situation. She explained why they had reached out to me after all this time. To comprehend the circumstances, you must first understand why my aunt was arranged. My paternal grandparents, 79 male and 76 female, had 4 children. My father was the second oldest, while my aunt was the third. After graduation, my aunt came out to her parents as bisexual and started dating her partner. My grandparents promptly rejected her and refused to contact her. However, roughly 4 years ago, my grandfather started to seek out. About a month ago, my grandfather inquired about me, what I was doing in life, and whether I was married or had children. My aunt chastised my grandfather for wanting to know about me after he defended Casey's actions. That's when the entire thing changed. My grandfather informed my aunt that because I had cheated on Amy with one of her close friends, I deserved to be alienated. My grandfather is a devout, religious man who despises cheating. My family had told him that when the buddy with whom I supposedly cheated confessed to Amy, she turned to Casey and Sarah for support and consolation. When I learned about this, I confronted and viciously attacked Casey and Sarah. Sarah was the one who tried to tear me and Casey apart, but I never touched her, and I did not brutally attack Casey. When my aunt told me this, my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe they despised me so much that they were willing to fabricate a horrible falsehood about me and disseminate it. My aunt later informed my grandfather the complete truth about what had happened. She told me he was startled, since he had always felt Casey was a good kid. My grandfather then asked my aunt for my phone number, which she declined. I understood why my parents and siblings wanted to contact me. My grandfather had told my parents and siblings that if they did not apologize to me and invite me to the family Christmas meal, they would be cut out of his will. For reference, he is a multimillionaire, so that is why they contacted me. Not to repent for how they had all wronged me in the past, but because if they didn't, they would not receive anything from grandfather. What a greedy group of individuals. After learning about it from my aunt, I decided to block them all. Why should I respond to them at this stage? They're all dead to me. I have a wife to support after what she has gone through, as well as a family who respects me, including my in-laws. However, this is not the end. 3 days after New Year's Eve, I got a call from an unknown number on my work phone. Because of my job, I am accustomed to receiving calls from unknown numbers, and when I answered the phone, I heard my grandfather's voice. He most certainly got my number from my company's website. He apologized for not contacting me for the past 8 years. He apologized for being unable to attend significant events like my graduation, wedding, and daughter's birth. I wasn't really close to him previously, so his cutting me off didn't hurt me. Later in the call, he informed me that he was so upset with the rest of my family that he was removing them from his will and adding me to it. I honestly don't know how to feel about it. The money would be helpful, but I don't want him to use it to force a relationship with my kid. We talked for nearly a half hour. The way the call went made me believe that I could develop a good relationship with my grandfather, but then he said something that truly pissed me off. He expressed disappointment that my daughter had not taken the family name for context. Once I married my wife, the question of what last name to use as a pair arose. For legal reasons, I was unable to change my last name to my wife's last name, but we agreed as a couple that all of our future children would have her surname. At this time, I unloaded on my grandfather. I called him a senile old guy and other harsh things, and I told him never to contact me again. The hubris of this man to say that after everything I've been through is something I will not tolerate. He will not use the money from the will to dominate me. Even if I receive the money, I plan to donate it to a local charity. However, given his history of making false promises, this is improbable. These last 2 weeks have been really difficult for me, and I am determined to get through them. My wife has made her Facebook account private, and her in-laws have done the same. I have no idea what they do to try to reach me. Hell, they'd probably pay a private investigator to find me. I think they don't know where I live, but you never know. I've considered getting a restraining order, but because there are lawyers in the family, getting one will be difficult. I didn't have much time to answer any of the questions in my previous post. I'll try my best to answer any inquiries during the next day or two, but after that I'm done with Reddit for a while. Thank you all for your suggestions and best wishes for the new year. That concludes the first story. Now let us start with the second one. My ex-girlfriend abandoned me and our daughter for another guy 10 years ago, but she's returned eager to be a family again after contracting CO and realizing she has no one left in her life. My narrative began 16 years ago when I met Lucy. She was an outstanding girl, intelligent, gorgeous, and funny. The best female I ever met. I felt quite fortunate when we began dating, and after a year we had a baby. I was living the dream, living with my fiancé, raising our young kid and having a happy family. I adored Lucy, and after several years we were finally getting married. Our daughter was the most excited about the wedding, since she was going to be a flower girl. Everything seemed wonderful until one day, while I was on my way home, a guy approached me and asked to speak with me. At first I thought he was trying to sell me something until he said Lucy. He politely invited me to speak in a private setting. He then requested me to pause everything concerning the wedding and stand aside, since he and Lucy desired to be together. I didn't trust him until he started telling me things about her that I couldn't possibly know. I got home as quickly as I could. I didn't want this to be real, so I told her about it, hoping everything was a mistake. But it wasn't. For the following hour, she told me everything she'd been cheating on me for the last 2 years. She told me that every time she said she loved me, wanted us to be together, or loved our family, she was lying. How her new boyfriend was younger, stronger, more attractive, and a better lover. She stated that she did not want to be connected to me. She lost her freedom as a mother and did not want to be married. She wanted her freedom back. The final sting came when she said she was glad I finally knew, and that she could now leave. I cried, begged, humiliated myself, and got down on my knees pleading for another chance to attempt to repair our relationship. But she did not want it. She craved the thrill and excitement that this new guy exuded. The next day she had left us. I felt shattered, humiliated, and emasculated, but my daughter needs me. She was heartbroken. Her mother had departed and she felt it was her fault. She heard Lucy say she no longer wanted to be a mother. She needed me, and I had to be strong for her. Fortunately, we had help. My family, as well as Lucy's family, were quite supportive. Her parents were so ashamed of their daughter's behavior that they couldn't approach me without apologizing for everything she did. I will never be able to repay everyone for their assistance. Fast forward 10 years, and after much time in therapy, my daughter and I are happy. She is the light of my life, a stunning 15-year-old lady whom I adore. Our wounds have healed and we enjoy a really pleasant existence. But then she returned. When my daughter and I returned home, Lucy was waiting for us outside our apartment, eager to talk. I recognized her right away, and I'd like to say I did something great, like ignore her, ask her to leave, or be rude to her, but no, I am an idiot. My heart skipped a beat as soon as I saw her. She was still as gorgeous as before, but she appeared even better. Perhaps age made her appear mature and elegant. Maybe the clothing or the makeup. I'm not sure, but I allowed her in. While our daughter gave us some space and went to her room, she told me all she had done since leaving. Basically, she lived with that person for several years. She expressed how much she appreciated it, how much fun she had, and how she thought those were the best years of her life, until she realized that the joy of her new connection was fading. She eventually started cheating on that person as well. She said she wanted to feel alive and excited. Eventually, the relationship ended and she began dating other men. Every relationship lasted less than the one before it, until she was only having casual hookups. She also mentioned that she sometimes thinks about us, our family. She claimed she was too proud to confess she had made a mistake until last year when she contracted CO. It hit her so hard that she thought she'd die and understood how alone she was, how dumb she had been. She committed a mistake so long ago. After all of that, she said that she regretted what she had done, and stated, "And now she was ready to marry me and be the family we always meant to be." When she was done, I asked her to leave so I could ponder. She agreed, stating she'd be back the next day. For years I wished she would return, and now it was occurring, but it didn't feel right. Since then, she has paid us practically daily visits, eager to discuss the best years of our relationship and how we may reunite as a happy family. I begged for support from my family and friends. Most of them told me that if I took her back, I would be making the worst mistake of my life. Others suggested that I give her a chance. It took me a long time to heal and even longer to begin forming new relationships, and I would risk everything. My daughter and I had a long discussion about it one night. I strive to involve her in every aspect of our lives, and this problem is very important to her because it is about her mother. Sometimes she shocks me with her wisdom and maturity as she informed me. Can you truly love someone who has damaged us so much? And that's all I needed. I would never forgive myself if I allowed her to injure my daughter again. I stated it to Lucy. If she wants to be around or have a relationship with our daughter, I'm fine with that, but only if she wants it. But I told her we wouldn't be back. Lucy just stated that she would make me fall in love with her again, and that she would not give up update 2. I didn't expect so many responses, so thank you to everyone for your feedback and advice. Thank you to those that opened my eyes and helped me recognize that I still have issues with my ex and am not over her overall. I'm grateful to those who warned me about the dangers of reintroducing my daughter into our lives. I recognize my flaws, but I will not allow her to injure my baby again. So don't worry, I'm not getting back to her. She had insisted on meeting ever since the post. She wanted to talk. I decided to have one last conversation with her and set my boundaries. We met in a public space. The conversation was long and difficult. I wanted her to be honest, so I informed her that if I caught her telling a lie, I would leave. I questioned if she was truly sorry or if we were her only alternative. Did she truly love us, or were we simply a consolation prize? Did she come back for love or because she couldn't find another man? She couldn't answer any of the questions. She only said stuff like this: "It is not like that. You have to comprehend me. I am not like this anymore." She insisted on giving her another chance that we could love and be together again. She never addressed our daughter at any point. Only when I brought it out did she begin to mention her. When I tried to settle that we were over, she grabbed my hand and, as some of you warned me she would do, tried to seduce me, pulling down her top, displaying me her cleavage and saying, "We can locate a place and I'll do whatever you want with you. I will not turn down anything to pay you." I didn't recognize the woman. She was not the amazing girl I had met. She was not the mother of my daughter. I had no idea who that woman was, but she wasn't my Lucy. I told her to let me go, that we were done. Please leave me and my kid alone. None of us wanted anything to do with her. We had a lovely life without her. She suddenly became enraged, stating I couldn't leave her. That was not my choice, that she had nothing else, that I couldn't take her daughter. I'm still not sure why, but the last statement triggered me. The following are not my exact words, but they are close to what I stated in that moment. Your daughter? Your daughter? You aren't her mother. You merely gave birth to her. You are not her mother. Tell me, where were you while she was sick? Where were you when she ran a fever? When did she feel terrified at night? When did her first tooth fall out? When did she cry at night because she missed her mother? Were you there on her first day of school? When did she get her first period? When did she have her first boyfriend? When her heart broke for the second time because her mother had already broken it? What dick were you riding when she needed a mother? You have no right to pretend to be her mother because you have never acted that way. She attempted to respond, but I could see that she was unable to find the words. I left her back at home. She texted me asking for another encounter and another chance. She stated that she loves me and is open to change. But I am done. You, everyone, were correct. She doesn't love me or our daughter. She simply loves herself. Having her in my life would be negative, toxic. I don't need that. I do not need her. My daughter and I are returning to therapy soon. Some of you were correct. I need to concentrate on myself, become stronger, and overcome my feelings for her because they are not real. Just a memory of who I imagined she was. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.